Hi, I'm Daniel Walton, and I recently, last year, swam the channel as a part of a relay team. So it was 6 of us. Yeah.
How did that come about? How did you decide to do that?
Well, I've always been I guess I've always been a keen swimmer. So right from early, like from a little kid, I swam as a club swimmer. So I swam like competitively. I've always fancied swimming the channel, I guess, and and it just sort of like came about. I mean, we used to go away on holidays and stuff, so I used to do really long swims, just because I kind of enjoyed it, and I kind of enjoyed swimming sort of infinitely. But and obviously it's pretty much the biggest swim you can do. I recently joined, well, not recently, for the last 5 years, got back into my swimming as it were as an adult. Yeah, and randomly I'd sort of mentioned that it was kind of like a thing I wanted to do, and my coach said I'd got some people that are doing a channel. It was his daughter actually, and they put me in touch, sort of thing. And it was just kind of luck of the draw really. It was like being in the right time, right place.
What kind of training do you have to go through to prepare yourself for something like that?
Yeah, I mean you have to. There's a certain amount of health and safety. And that kind of stuff. You have to do, it's advisable to do as much open water swimming, which is swimming either in a lake or in the sea, and there's kind of certain rules. It's quite stringent actually.
Why are you advised to do lots of
open water?
Yeah.
Well, primarily because it's quite different from pool swimming. Like pool swimming, from their perspective, they don't know anything about you. So, you could swim all day in a pool, but you're never really more than 20 metres from touching the bottom. You swim down to the bottom and or you can get out. So, from their perspective, they need to know that you can swim, in a place where you're never going to touch land. Right. And obviously temperature is a massive difference. Depending on what time of year, there's quite big fluctuations between temperature. Going from, I think it's like about 14 up, so it's pretty cold. Yeah. And then we have to do this 2-hour sort of swim test, where you swim continuously for 2 hours, not allowed to get out. And I swim regularly on pretty much every Sunday. I swim for 2 hours, so the swimming's not the issue. It's the temperature. Like the cold is the sea is a lot colder. And you have quite a small window of opportunity where you can actually swim the channel and where you can do your test, because you have to do your test in the same year.
Where's that?
Well, just through temperature of the water.
Right. Okay.
There's only like 3 or 4 months of opportunity every year where you can swim. So you have to have your test, and then actually obviously do the swim. We all went down there as a team down to Dover, and that's generally where most people do their training. You can swim in the harbour, and you swim up and down, and it got to about an hour and 20 minutes, and I was completely numb. I mean, I was really struggling. I was completely blue, and everyone was like, "Yeah, I think I was like, "Look, I'm going to get out. There's no way I'm going to make this." I think like if it had been like 22, I reckon I could have done another 20 minutes. Yeah. But I was definitely right on the verge of sort of like sort of signs of hypothermia. So anyway, I got out, and sure enough, I was like completely shaking. It took me like 2 hours to warm up, maybe 3. Really, because once you get down that cold, it's really difficult for your body to get back up. You have to force yourself to do, to run little bits and stuff to just kind of warm yourself up. But it's just like the last thing you want to do, and your coordination's knackered. So I failed that, so I had to go back and do another 2-hour test. There was a race in Brighton, which is peer-to-peer.
Okay.
So I entered that, and what the idea was is that I'd race the race, but I wouldn't get out at the other end. I would, because normally you race from one pier to the other pier and then you get out on the pier. I would just carry on for 2 hours. The temperature of the water would like kind of increase quite a lot, but I can't remember the exact temperatures. But once it gets to a certain level, it can't be over a certain temperature either, because they want to test that you can swim at these temperatures, and it was like right on the limit. I mean, in places you'd say that it was hotter, so because obviously the sea's fluctuations. So it was kind of it was the last weekend before that I could possibly do my swim test in the season before I swim. So it was kind of make or break. I had to do the 2-hour swim. The swimmers, the race people were like, no, you can't do it because like for health and safety, we need to know you've got out, and if you get out, that invalidates the 2-hour swim. So in the end, I decided to not swim the race, but I stayed there and just jumped in and swam behind the race and carried on for 2 hours. I went from sort of the old pier at Brighton, past the new pier, all the way down to the boat in, what we should call it, harbour or whatever, and then all the way back again. And that took like exactly 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah, I was sick a couple of times, but that's kind of part of the course because it's like really choppy.
Oh
like on the way there it wasn't so bad. On the way back, it was just, I mean, the waves were just hitting you straight in the face. So, but I mean, that's just sea swimming, so you kind of get used to it. So,
do you think you want to do it again?
I mean, yeah, I'd love to do it again, but I mean, I don't know whether. I'd love to do the whole thing. I mean, obviously, I did just a part of it. It'd be good to do a solo, but solo, I mean, it does take over your life.
How long would that take to do?
We did it in 12 hours, 20 odd minutes, and I think like David Williams did it in I think it's under 10. So, my team, there was 2 of us that were sort of like kind of fast, and then the rest of them were kind of average swimmers.
Okay.
It's not really about, I mean, for a lot of people it's not about speed, but I mean, obviously, I'm a competitive swimmer, so I like to go fast, but I haven't really got the body for it. So you need to wait until you're probably like mid to late 40s is kind of an ideal time, because you've kind of got more body fat, and you're sort of just less, less prone to hypothermia and stuff. And I guess a lot of people at that point have had kids, so they can concentrate on swimming a bit more, because I mean, it would take over your life, because you need to basically, if you're going to do a solo swim, you need to do your test swim is not 2 hours, it's 6 hours, and so you've got to swim, obviously without a wetsuit, you're not allowed. 6 hours, and so the guys that do the solo, the ratio of people that make it is really quite low, and from my experience, I can kind of understand why now, but I didn't really appreciate quite just how difficult the last 2 kilometres are. Yeah, I mean, the swimming's not the issue, it's more the cold, and like a lot of the swimmers, because they can't get out, they obviously you can't keep enough body reserves for that amount of time, so you have to eat and drink while you're swimming. So what they do is they kind of come in and sit in the waves just on the beach, but don't get out, and then people will go down and feed them and stuff. So and they do that sort of every hour or every sort of like 2 hours, they stop, have something to food, drink, and then they go back out again. And that's the same on the boat. Like, they're not allowed to stop. You're not allowed to touch anything on the boat. So what they do is they chuck the food out from the boat, and then you swim up to it, grab it, drink it, whatever, and then you carry on. You're not allowed to get out, you're not allowed to touch the boat, you have to tread water.
You meant get out and then get back in again.
No, you can't do that. And so you have to basically swim the entire time. But that's just really difficult.
Is there anything you can do whilst you're in the water to kind of warm yourself up a bit?
Swim faster, I guess. I mean, not really. No, I mean, it's literally, and maybe do some faster swimming, do a section where you just go flat out and you warm yourself up, but then the flip side is that you get fatigue, and then you get even colder, so it's kind of like there's always a balance. So the only real way to do it is to practice, and your body becomes more, it basically becomes more like hardy to it. Like when you first start, most people can only do sort of 2-3 hours, and then then the guys that are in there every weekend, they go up 6, 7, 8 hours.
So your body just gradually builds tolerance.
And generally, like, a solo swimmer will kind of train for 2 years before they go across, so it's not like they don't just do this in a year, it's not enough time.